Somebody asked me how my Zygopetalums were doing and are they still alive? Well, I can understand the question given my history with these, but I think that is now ancient history and we can move on from paid up member of the I Kill Zygos club, because I think we're out of that club now. Hopefully been kicked out. This looks grossly overpotted, but I wanted this one to stay in here for some time and was told it could grow quite large. I think that was misinformation, but the latest growth on it is pushing on nicely. Whoops, we don't want the pot to fall over, do we? And that is, oh, that's the one with the strange name, Arta Ellie, named clone Stonehurst. Once upon a time was awarded. I'll see what with once we get a flipping spike on it. But this was potted up with quite a poor root system actually, so the fact that it's pushed on a nice new growth, or is pushing on a nice new growth, is good. So get in there with that one. Sorry about that abrupt break there, but I'm crouched down and I had that little twinge that says you're about to get cramp, which means stand up immediately, but we didn't. This one is, I think this is the latest one I got, that was got in bloom, and basically is growing nicely now. It's pushing out some nice roots down into the pot, and it's got two good new growths on here, one coming on here, and another one around the other side, so two leads in effect. Yeah, so we've got new growths. Again, no sign of spikes yet, but I'm happy that I have a pretty healthy looking plant with green leaves and new growths. That's a bonus. And the last one, oh, actually it's not the last one, there is a little one to look at as well. This is the one I've had the longest now. This is the Louisendorf. And again, this is pushing on some new growths. Lovely new growth here, and no sign of a spike at the base yet. And most Zygos push out their spike before the bulb matures, so I don't even know if that one is going to bother blooming, but it's pushed out a lot of new roots from that new growth. I've still got this inhibited growth here that just sits there doing nothing, and that's all it's ever done, is sit there doing nothing. I think that's all it will ever do. And then there's this other new growth coming out this side, again pushing out some good new roots below. So yeah, we have living Zygos, that's the biggies, and then we have, it's actually a Zygopetalum cross that was out of the big box. It's a Zygonicea. Well, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Murasaki Kamadu dark blue. Spelt wrong. But we have a new growth. I only just noticed that as I was getting it down to water it. There is a little tiny new growth at the base of that pseudo bulb. This one has got some signs of roots, but I wouldn't say it's a healthy root system, and it's quite a young plant. But with a new growth comes new roots, so it's now got a chance to pull on. This did have cold damage. The leaves turned round like this. It just got too cold in the box, I think. So it's had a shock, it's had a setback, and now hopefully it's going to recover. So yeah, so that's the Zygos. And I think we're out of the not dead yet category now. I think we're into the seem to be doing okay category, which is good. Never been in that category with Zygos before. Anyway, they're coming on, doing okay. I just thought I'd show this as it's down, because we all know this is a gorgeous colour. This is an epidendrum, and it's actually got a name that I've got written down in my notes, but still not done a tag for it. It's Comet Valley something. Something star, I think. But if you look at these blooming spikes, every one of those little bracts that you can see up there is where there was once a flower. Yeah? All of these were once flowers. And they drop off from the bottom downwards, like that one just did. Yeah? So they gradually drop off at the base of where the blooms are. that bloom still looks exactly the same as it did when it first opened. And that's the reason. They just keep extending. They just keep producing more and more buds, pushing the spike slowly upwards, and then they open outwards and they drop off the bottom. Now I don't know how much longer this is going to go on for, but it's showing no signs of stopping yet. I mean, if you just look, 2, 4, 6, 8, there's a dozen buds in there, and probably similar on the others, and they're still to come. And they just gradually push to the side, open up, and then it just gradually does that, and then they fall off the bottom. But the pom-pom heads on this just keep going. And as I said, I don't know how long for, but it's already been out a long time. And it's doing incredibly well. I saw this at Malvern last year, took one look at the colour and thought, I'm having it. They did actually have several, but I picked the one that looked like the best plant. And it had quite a few new growths come in. Not many spikes in bloom, but it had quite a lot of new growths. And all of those growths pushed on and are now doing that. Yeah? So that's effectively 6 new growths, 6 pom-pom heads that are going to bloom for a very, very long time. I think that was a 20 quid plant. So excellent value for money. Mature plant, in bloom, loads of new growths, and blooms like that continuously for some considerable time. I've got in my notes when the first bloomed open, yeah? So we'll see how long this one lasts. I would say a minimum of 3 months, maybe more. It might bloom right throughout the summer. We'll have to wait and see, but you certainly can't knock that colour. I mean, that's the splash of orange, but if you take a closer look, you actually got just a little yellow centre. These types of epidendrums are nicknamed the crucifix orchid because effectively they're upside down and it looks like a cross on the top. If you're into that sort of thing. That's going to go out of focus, I know it is. I can't handhold this that close. The problem I've got is I'm actually only about 5-6 inches away from that, but not thinking ahead when I bought this particular camera, it's actually got a wide angle lens. I mean, it's got a zoom on it, but it starts off as a wide angle lens, so it's always going to, you know, make things look farther away, basically. So maybe if I ever replace this camera, we'll get one with a interchangeable lens would be good, so that I can swap them around. But anyway, just a quick look at that one.